Welcome to Yellow Skunk Farms. Quick disclaimer, this is a 21 and up year old channel, so if you're not 21 years old, please leave now. Thank you very much. The Monstera is just becoming a monster. It's the Monstera. I mean, it's not even funny anymore. The camera don't do it justice. And then the one back there, look at this. How pretty is that? Huge leaves. Just every day it seems that I come in here, they've stretched across, and I've even got it pulled back. If you're wondering, we are in this midst of this snowstorm right now, and we have not lost power, but really it's just a bunch of sleet right now where I'm at. And it seems to be that's all we're going to get is a lot of sleet. Hopefully it doesn't change over to freezing rain. And the big news in here today is, see the mail? The mail is on the floor. So we removed the mail this morning on our Instagram page. So we just did it, literally just did it. See, they were chopped down. I'm leaving the root. But what I'm going to do is remove this cow pot here. There's no bottom to it. I want to see. Well, yeah, there's nothing left of it right there. See, it's just kind of was like a shield to help hold back the isopods. But then we're going to remove this root riot too, because these things take forever to break down. But I hope everybody's doing well in this big snowstorm. If you're in it, I'm on the East Coast, but I'm in Virginia, so it's not too bad right here, right now. Depending on where I am, I'm on the East Coast, so it's a lot of sleet. If you go west, it's a little worse. Let's see, we'll put this over here. But it is cold as shit, I tell you that. It's like, I don't know, 19 degrees, 20 degrees outside. The good thing is it's not very windy. So right now we're being spared the wind. We did have a little bit last night, but nothing that bad. So everything has been pollinated. We can see, I can even actually see pollen on these leaves. So the buds, I'm curious now as to see how they grow from here. Like, will they get really big, or will they just produce a bunch of seeds? Don't know. First time doing this, so if it's your first time too, welcome. We're going to do this day by day. That's what we do. Every day is a video. So if you're just joining us, there's a video. We pretty much, I just do this live. It's not live, but it is live. I don't edit anything. I just come in here and take a video, and it's super easy for me to just download the video directly to YouTube and not just give it a title, and boom, I'm done. Go about my day, you know. I am not retired, so what was I doing? We got shit to do, you know what I mean? There. And the Grandmasters, we are day 25. We are running 40% on the cool white, 20% on the warm white, 20% on the red, 0 deep red. We're at 50%. And I think I'm only pulling 203 watts of power. Amazing. And the plants just love it. Just absolutely love it. All the plants. So now that I removed that male, do a little trimming on this bush. But everything goes right back in. Now we can just really observe this, really. These are the olds. You can see that there's nothing left of really the old stump. This is from the old growth. Oh, there's a moth. Yeah, gotcha. Haha. The farmer is the IPM. So this is the old root. You can see that it's in there. Kind of, you can see where, you know, I had that pot and it just goes straight down into that pot instead of. That's one bad thing about those pots that I'm noticing, is that they restrict the side growth. So what I'm going to do next time is, instead of having that, taking just the bottom off, what I'm going to do is remove. It's kind of like it restricts these roots from coming into the bed at the top layer where I really want them. Those feeder roots, you know, they have to go down and then go out. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, it seems not to really matter. The plants grow pretty well, but you can see how the moisture here. So what I can do, oh, look at that, like an earwig, a little baby earwig. Just sit here for a second and watch things just move. Talk about aeration. That's aeration right there. So imagine if I had perlite in here, that perlite would separate all of this. And those guys would have to work around that perlite, because perlite, they don't, you know, it's inert. It's just baked rock, really. It's like glass almost. There's the old one. You can see they just completely destroy the roots. And if you were to get close enough, you'll just start to see life. Oop. Let me get down here where I can rest myself. There we go. You can just really see things move. This is what I like to do. I like looking at the life. Not just, I want to get a microscope, but watching these guys work, something I can actually see with the naked eye, is really cool to me. And then just like kind of moving it around. Different types of life you're gonna see. From springtails to road beetles, earwigs, lots of earwigs I'm seeing, lots of earwigs. I don't know what that means, or if that's just, they have a good home. Lots of isopods, which is a good thing in this system. They can get overwhelming in small bags and stuff, but if you have a lot of organic matter, you're gonna have isopods. That's what they do. Here comes the jasmine coming on around the bend. It's all the way up, all the way up here, and I run it. You know, see it coming across, and then we kind of wrapped it around. It's gonna come right on down through here. And that's exactly what we want, just for it to cover that rock. Let's go over here and take a look at I see you, Pooter. Water's crystal clear. There's you see we are sucking a lot of water out of the pond. Look how big Plinko has gotten. Holy cow, Plinko. You're gonna be like a monster in there. A couple of mollies hanging out. I haven't seen any more mollies, and the reason I think is because when they lay their eggs, I think the shrimp and other things get them. So I haven't seen any of the molly. Maybe they'll be able to reproduce, but who knows? I think that they're being out-competed and their babies are getting eaten. But we can't do much about that. They're just going to have to fend for themselves. Dump a little more over there. You can see how, since we've stopped feeding the turtles so much, or stopped feeding every day, we did it when they were babies. We could feed them a little bit every day to get them going. Now that they're a year and a half old now, we don't feed every day. They're eating algae. They're eating the grasses, the dichondra grass. You can see them just eating all those roots. That's exactly what I want them to do. As those roots grow, they'll eat them, and they grow fast. See them all up underneath. You can see them growing. And they'll eat them. That's part of their diet. They get worms. They get black soldier flies, isopods. They have a very diverse diet. That's why we don't need to feed pellets. We feed, the pellets to Pooter, and he gets enough too. He eats algae as well. You'll see him muffing around down there in the rocks, getting all that stuff out of there. And the creek is much cleaner since we've stopped doing the pellets every day. So we don't need to feed every day. That's a good thing. Come over here and look at this. Yeah. This is a good looking flower here. Very nice. Almost was ashamed to have to seed it, but I think we got a good one here. Very sativa. This is what I was looking for out of the yellow skunk. So I have this phenotype here. So that one and that one, same phenotypes of the yellow skunk, very big. And then I have this one here that is kind of like the shorter or fatter one. Still got the sativa leaf, but a little bit bigger. This is kind of what I was looking for also in the yellow skunk line. This is the one that was very kind of yellowish. In the leaves the whole time. You can kind of see it. If I get the light right. And that one over in the corner also is the same as that one. So I have that one and that one are the same phenos, and these two are the same. This one here, it's like stayed short and stocky. This is the Jolly Pond. That short Jolly Pond is now just shot clean through. This is the top here. And you can see these lowers just outstretch the top. We can come in here and take that leaf there. Sometimes, I get these lower branches to come on up because I like to take fingers. So here's one we can take now. So that these leaves actually are pretty wide open and allow a lot of light and airflow. But if we won't, like this over here, see how those are touching? So instead of taking this whole leaf, so if I was going to had the option of taking a finger or an arm, I want you to take the finger, please, because I'd rather keep my arm and the rest of my fingers to do work. See, now I've opened that up. And they are pollinated, so that looks, see, that looks right. That looks like, see, they're orange, they're turning. I can see almost the little seed sacs forming. That looks proper. That looks like what I thought it should look like. But over there, when they pollinate, but over here on that one, this is why I was saying it looks like it's burning, because when I turned that light on, I started seeing uneven, like down in here. Well, they've grown since then, but like down in here, those, they just looked too curly and bent up and cooked. And I was almost guaranteeing, because that's the same, it's the same thing that happened to that land race that we had. And when I burn them, this is what they looked like. They look different. They look scraggly and burnt and crispy, not like fresh orange, but crispy orange, and it didn't look, and only a few were doing that. Now I understand that, and I hadn't pollinated anything then. That land race didn't have any pollen. It was still had that burn to it. It still had that look, and that was because they were stretching so much that they were stretching into the light, and I was burning them up with that red. So I changed the red. I'd added reds into this, and then like a day later, I started seeing that. But also the pollen sac started to fall, and then people were like, "Well, that's just the pollen setting in." And I said, "Well, it doesn't look like the pollen setting in. It looks burned, because it looks like what I saw on the land race when I burnt the shit out of that with these Grand Masters, because I didn't." Well, I had my PPFD meter set wrong. I didn't have it set at 18 hours. I had it set at 18 hours and not 12. So that was giving me false reading. So it was pumping way too much red, too fast throughout the day. My DLI was way off, so it was way too much, too fast, and I was burning them up. That's the same thing I saw there. So I just dropped the reds, and I haven't seen that little burn anywhere else since, but I am seeing where they're pollinating, where they have pollinated. So you can see that there's orange. This happens, usually it takes a lot longer for that to happen during flower. Usually we're in week 6 or 7 before they really, but that looks normal, where the other ones didn't. They're still standing up straight. They're not all crispy, burn looking. They're standing up, but they're orange. I can actually see some nuts coming. Looks like some seeds right there in the center. You see them? Little cluster. So I'm curious as to how these are going to grow from here on out. Now that I've removed the male, we've got the pollen in there. We've been blowing it all over the damn room. So now that we've removed it, we don't have as much. You can actually see it on the ear, on the elephant ear. Look at it. Look at that. That's how much pollen is just all over the room. So if it's all over this elephant ear, that it's been all over everything. So that's a good thing. That's what we wanted. Now curious as to how they're gonna grow. Are they gonna get real big? Or are they just gonna stay kinda scroggy like this and form some seeds and that's gonna be it? I don't know. We'll find out. I'm assuming we just let them go until they're all nice and plump and healthy looking. Hopefully they get that way. Now that we're not pumping any more pollen in, it should just, whatever's there should just take and continue from there. I can see the pollen on the leaves. See it? It's everywhere. So we'll go ahead and remove the male. This way we ain't gotta worry about all the extra pollen. We could keep the extra pollen, put it in the refrigerator. That is a sticky plant right here. And a stinky one. I'm not sure what it smells like though. Kind of like a burnt something. Blueberry burnt. Burnt blueberry pancakes. Funky. So far so good on the power though. We haven't lost power and the pumps. Everything's still flowing nicely. Get down here and see the water's flowing nicely. Shrimp. Cherry shrimp. Best focus I can get. Got cherry shrimp everywhere in the creek. That's one thing we probably need to do today also is just pull some algae. Look at how much moisture has been pulled. It's just constantly wet, just like that. That's exactly what we want. A constant moisture. Ah. Isopod. Y'all want to see Isopod Hotel? Let's check out Isopod Hotel. We're going to disturb them. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Ah! What are y'all working on in there? Babies? Y'all making babies in there? Look how big that thing is compared to the others. He's like grand. He's like monster. All right, I'll leave you alone. So we got this pad here. We can get wet here. Get off there. Unless you want to go in the creek. Look at all the shrimp that stirred up and I did that. So we'll just pull out some. Let's go ahead right over there, put it on that new stump there, get that new stump working. Also, we can take some of this algae out here. Make sure we don't get any of our shrimp. Look at that. A worm right in the creek. Look at that. Tell me they can't work a creek. They work a creek, man. Worms don't give a shit. Put it right over there. Cover it up. Let them go down to that root system and start working that root. Yummy root. And this is that string algae I've been feeding the soil since for a year now. You know, since we started growing the algae, since it started growing, we didn't grow it, it just started growing. So what I'm doing is just burying it down in there. We can just move. We set that stuff down in there, and those guys will just go to town. Look at that earwig. Look how big that thing is. Holy shit. Look at the ass on that. Look at the chompers. The head is right there. The chompers are right there. It's got chompers for an ass. How'd you like to have an ass chomper? Huh? It's like a half a scorpion. It looks like an arm of a crab or something. The hand of a crab. Don't it look like the hand of a crab? The arm of a crab claw with a head. It's a crab claw with a head and feet. That's a huge one. He's eating very well. These are shredders, just like the isopods. This guy, he's an arthropod. I believe that's what you call an arthropod. They're just like that. The first stage of shredders, isopods, earwigs, shit like that. Things we can see. Going down to the mites. And then into the nematodes and all the tiny stuff, microscopic stuff. The stuff that's breaking down all of this. That used to be, there you go, that's where I cut it. And that's what's left. Everything else got devoured. See? I mean, that's good that's fungal dominant, because it's the fungus and everything that's eating that wood, eating this cannabis stalk and breaking it down into in a powder form almost. That powder then the worm can take it up, turn it into organic rich nutrient food for the plants. So all this just needs to break down to that level though. And we have the shredders that are, now I can help them out just simply by doing what I'm doing, chopping it up. The more I chop it up, the easier it is for them to consume it and shit it out, just like me chewing my food. If I didn't just swallow my shit whole, my stomach would hurt like a bitch, but eventually it would break it down. I hope anyway. But if I chew it up first, a lot easier. All that stuff on my hand, all that microscopic, that small stuff, it's going to turn to sand almost. Silt, sand. Same stuff that's around the edge of the creek. Different types of wood we have, the more different types of sand and silt we have. More different types of nutrients we have, more types of food we have for the worms, therefore different type of food we have for the plant. Hence why you have like crab meal and bone meal and all these different types of stuff that have different types of things in them. One's rich in this, one's rich in that, but if you have a sand that's rich in everything, let the worms run through it, release everything at one time, let the plants are smart enough to know what to take and what not to take, and we don't have to do shit but maintain some balance keep this algae, you know, from taking over the creek. But this algae is food for our critters. We just have to take it out every once in a while. Look at all this. Just pull it right on out, along with some of the grass. Let's lay this over here in the middle of this. This is what's giving us our food for our critters. This is what maintains balance. So instead of critters eating up everything and shrinking everything down, and I've added enough of that sand, silt, clay, to now they're mining all the time. We're feeding, they're mining, and they're mining the nutrients that these plants are uptaking. And there's no doubt in my mind now that this system works if it's set up properly and managed properly. I believe in the future it will produce high quality food, nutrient dense food and medicine year round, 24/7, as long as we can maintain the power that we need to be inside. You know, we're always, you know, this is inside, so it's not, you know, 100% natural. I, you know, completely acknowledge that. I know some people like to point that out, but like an aquarium or like anything else you have, if we have access to power, then we can pretty much do whatever we want without using chemicals and NPKs and going to the store and buying crap all the time. Like this is all we need. We need to feed the turtles, and we can feed the turtles everything we don't really need. The pellets, the fish, we don't really need the pellets. We have the algae, we have everything we need to feed. We have plenty of worms, plenty of isopods, black soldier fly, algae, all these things. As I'm actually releasing this, you'll watch the turtles and the fish sit right by the intake there and just mop it up. This algae here, I just love it. We just got to make sure it doesn't get out of hand, like I said. And that's just as simple as coming in here and pulling it out. As the grass grows, we got to get some of that. Look at all the pollen. One reason why we removed the male, we just went ahead and took it out because it's got a lot of pollen. It's a monster male, so we don't really need all that pollen in here. They'll just keep producing and keep pumping out pollen, and the whole damn place will be covered in it. We don't really need that. The job is done. Now we can see the roots again. Still got good flow coming down through there. We might need to come up in there and cut some of that grass. But it is like a damn, look. And some people were like, you're gonna cut them that short? Why don't you let them grow before you flip? 30 days? I always go 40, 45. If I went 45, I would have been run out of here. And that was with 0 reds. Since I added red what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days ago. It's been 5 days since we added a little red, and look, it just boof. I mean, they just love the red. It's crazy how they stretch. Even after, you know what, we did 21 days, 3 weeks of flower before we even added the red in. That's a beautiful plant though. Nice trichome coverage. We don't top. I never top anything. I don't like topping. I like that big bud at the top. I want my big bud. It's my pride and joy, you know what I mean? Sometimes you get multiple big buds if you do it right. So here's the top, and then these are the side branches. If you do it right, they'll come on up for you and past the top. Here's the other one. Not all of them come up all the time, but most of the time they will catch up to the top. We can go ahead and take this one here and pull this out. Pull that little one off there. Take a finger here, allow that light to go down in there. Good to go. Man, that is sticky. Pew! Give me a little Pepe Le Pew there. Uh-huh. Don't like it, do you? Girl don't like to be plucked. She's stinky, and oh yeah, you're a little funky, a little funk in the trunk there, girl. Uh-huh. You're gonna be pretty too. She's gonna be pretty one. Too bad we had to seed you, but the next time we run you, look at that stacking. Perfect distance in the stacks. I love that. That's just a Maserati stack, about an inch. They'll grow into that, and then when we go to harvest, it'll be that much easier to just kind of peel apart. Boom, 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 boom. Sticking the Canatrol in those nice nugs. Perfect size, instead of getting them all crunched up, tight, and nasty, where you can't do nothing with them. I hate that. It's a nice one too. That one's got a stinky funk. All of it's nice and sticky. That's what I like to see. This Jolly Pond here is just starting to show some trikes. Got a weird green smell right now anyway. Alright, I think we're good to go. I didn't realize I'd been on here for so long. We got the mail out. We're going to take that outside. We can take it outside right now, and it's freaking raining. It would pretty much kill everything on it. We don't really need any more pollen. Don't plan on using or making any more. We got plenty of seeds, so you know what I mean? We don't need to fuck with it anymore. Just get it out of here. Hey. Have fun living out there. It's 19 degrees. Alright guys, I think we're done. Don't think I need to do anything but add some water later, fix Digger up. Digger's up in there. You see it there sticking out, he's in his normal spot. We're going to try and make it through the rest of this icy day here, and if you're in it, stay warm, stay high. Peace.